Hello, good morning, people. By now, hopefully, you should have had a chance to read the 225 to 229 in the textbook. And now, here are some slides to help you understand the content for where we're at in the course. Okay, so we've looked at dualism and property dualism. And we've got 4 arguments against. And the last of these arguments is a particularly important one. So that is the subject of today's learning. So really what the fourth response is attacking the idea that qualia actually can exist at all. And this leads on to providing a physicalist response to the whole question of mind and body. And this physicalist approach is called eliminativist. And this is the kind of general notion that we can eliminate all the things that we think of the mind and reduce them to aspects of the body in the physical. And coming in here, attacking the arguments, knowledge Mary argument, we can just go straight to the notion that these qualia that Mary is supposed to understand suddenly when she emerges from the room and she sees the coloured world, well, actually, these qualia just don't exist. And the argument isn't an easy argument because when you start things off, oh, the screen has disappeared. Let's try. Okay, there's the screen again. And the argument is not an easy argument because actually there does seem to be quite good grounds for saying that these qualia exist because we do directly experience them. We do directly have these experiences in our consciousness, in our perceptions, in our feelings, in our emotions. We do seem to directly, we know they're there. In fact, Descartes has argued that our knowledge of qualia is more sound than many knowledge that we have about the physical world. So, in a sense, it seems like quite an extreme position to attack the existence of these mental objects that are qualia. However, they are attacked by modern philosophers, and hopefully by now you've got the sense of who does attack them. And that's what we're going to be looking at. So let's see if I can get down. Yeah, so the first of these is Paul and Patricia Churchland. They very important philosopher couple, and they have put forward and they have attacked jointly the notion that these qualia could exist. How they kind of explain it is that the way we talk about the mind involves what they think of as a folk psychology. And they term folk psychology as the way that normal, ordinary folk just talk about the mind in a way that's easy for them. However, it's not the real nature of the way the world is. And as we become more scientific and we develop more understanding of the world, we can replace our folk psychology with and actually the truthful understanding of the way the world is. And what what one challenge to think about, this is one of the exercises in the book, is could you imagine a world where we don't use any of these mental terms, instead refer to everything in purely physical terms? Is that possible? Is it feasible? We don't say I'm angry, we say that there are neurons in the front part of my brain that's getting really excited, and I'm getting adrenaline through my body, and that my brain is acting in a certain way. Could we replace the term anger with actually physical language and understanding of the precise mental processes? The precise brain processes going on. And if you think that maybe that is possible, then you're moving down the road to eliminativism. Okay. the churchlands give some examples. They say that there are many things that we thought existed in science, and as we learn more about science, we come to understand they don't exist. And one example is from cosmology, this idea that they used to believe that the Earth was obviously the centre of the world, and around the Earth were these great spheres, kind of like onion layers, and each different layer around the Earth maybe contained part of the planets or the stars, and actually these layers, these great crystal spheres, existed around the world. They used to believe in these crystal spheres, but actually it was proved in the 16th century just to be false. They simply don't exist. So science is full of examples of imaginary objects that, as we become more knowledgeable, we realise they can't exist. So the argument would be, in a similar manner, these kind of mental objects that we've been born with from folk psychology, that normal folk have come to believe in, actually, as science emerges, and neuroscience, which is very early on in its development, will simply prove that none of these things exist. And we come to understand the physical processes and start talking about them bit by bit as we go. Okay, I'm going to pause there and just see how that's worked.